a seat, sip some wisdom, and stay a while. This is the Prosperity Lounge, where growth gets personal. Step inside, we're breaking chains.
Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody can hear me all right. Trying something new this week. We're out here middle of the week, a little different than the radio show. This is Lounge Talk live from the lounge. I'm Joey Ruffalo. This is your midweek moment. Pull up a chair, unplug, reset. Whether you're here for money tips, business growth ideas, or just to breathe and relax, man, we're here. You're in the right place. Tonight's format's a little different than the usual show, so it's kind of just like I said, more of a relaxed kind of environment. There'll be some Q&A. It'll kind of be like a mini show, but also just like a whatever you guys want to talk about. So tonight's a little different. It's been an amazing 4 weeks so far since the Prosperity Lounge radio show has launched, and I wanted to just come on and celebrate all that with you. We get some great feedback on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We get some great feedback on YouTube. If you're not, I'd love for you to like, subscribe, click the notification bell. This way you get notified when we go live, especially with the show. There's an important reason for that that's coming up very shortly. I'll let you know what that's about. But yeah, so I just wanted to come on and celebrate with you guys, try something different. What I'm going to do tonight is kind of look back on what we've done so far in the first 4 weeks, and then share what's coming next. And I got a special announcement about a brand new time slot starting in June. So coming up real quick here. So go ahead and grab a drink, drop your questions in the chat, and let's settle in, man. The lounge is open. All right. So let's rewind a little bit and talk about what we did in the first 4 episodes so far. And those 4 episodes are available, like I said, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, just about everywhere. You can also re-listen to them here on the YouTube channel in its entirety. And you can also watch the show behind the scenes, however they call it. And that's live streamed every episode. Currently, it's Saturday mornings, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. But starting in June, we're going to have a different time slot. So you have to stay tuned to see when that's going to be. Very excited about changes coming up and what we're going to be doing. So let's go ahead and just rewind a little bit here and talk about the first episode. The first episode kind of broke down the beginning of where everything started, where I shared my story behind the show, how we overcame $370,000 in debt, what it took for us to climb out, started talking about faith, started talking about discipline, intentional choices. And man, that message stuck with a lot of you. And this message was that you guys were made for more. Absolutely there. I mean, we talked about, I was pretty open and candid about rock bottom, where rock bottom was, what that all meant, what that was for us. And that was our lights were turned off, our water was turned off. We had a notice on our door to get out of our apartment. Like, we were all going out at the same time. Our cars are getting repoed. And I had to shower with a hose, man. That was run a community hose up a flight of stairs and into a shower and take an ice cold shower and stand there and realize, yeah, this is not working. So that's where the beginning was. That was figuring out that we weren't doing what we should be doing, and it was not helpful. Then we moved on to episode 2. Episode 2 was about budgeting. And we talked about why most budgets fail. And it's not because you're bad with money. It's not because, you don't know what you're doing. It's because most systems don't fit real life. We reframe budgeting to be more of a tool of freedom, less restriction. And essentially talked about like why you need a budget, essentially. I talked about budgets being the foundation upon which your financial house is built, and really just the fact that you're getting something down on paper as opposed to in your head will go a long way. That's the first step, is knowing where your money is going, knowing how much money you have, and knowing where it's going. Because if you don't know where it's going, it's going to end up somewhere else. It's not going to end up where you want it to go. So that was that. Then we talked about episode 3 a little bit about side hustles that work. So once you start working on your budget and you see what you're spending and what you're not spending, and how much money you have and how much money you don't, how much money you need, we talked about the shortfalls and how to plug the holes, essentially, and what you might need to do. And that's either going to be cutting stuff from your budget because you can't afford it, or increasing your income. Right? There's 2 ways to work it, right? You either cut spending or increase income. Sometimes you got to do both. And we talked about side hustles. Side hustles are one of those things where that's my wheelhouse. We've done so many different things over the years. Occasionally, I still go out there and I still do a side hustle. But yeah, we talked about what we did to get out of $370,000 in debt. And it was things like Uber, Amazon, grocery delivery, mystery shopping, and anything selling on eBay, selling online was a real big one for us. One, it helped us pare down our lives and get rid of the junk and clutter, which was fantastic. And in the meantime, put some money in our pockets. And then it turned into a game where we would go out and try to find things to flip and, go to the garage sales, go to the thrift stores and try to find items that would sell and do that. And that was fun. That was a good treasure hunt. And then it was just about making the extra income in order to, like I said, plug the holes and fill in the gaps. And those aren't things you have to do forever. I mean, I still do them occasionally just because it's fun and it's some extra cash and, why not? But I like to call these situations goal jobs. You're working towards a goal, whether your goal is to get out of debt, your goal is to save money for a trip, your goal is to buy new tires, buy a new car, save for a fun item. Those are available. They're quick. They're on demand. You can do them fast, and you can work it hard and get a lot of money from it, and then just kind of take a break for a while until you need it again. And then last episode 4, we talking about money as a couple, and this one hit home for a lot of folks as well. We walked through how to start money conversations with your partner, how to set ground rules, how to make a plan that works for you. Just having the conversation in general. We're all wired a little bit differently with how we deal with money. And money is one of those parts of the conversation that nobody likes to talk about. Nobody likes to talk about money, politics, religion, or sex. And that's the kind of the 4 things that people should be talking about in order to have an understanding of where people are. Open dialogue, but nobody talks about those things. And so we're all just pent up. And then when we do, it's an explosion of guilt or yelling or blame or whatever it ends up being. So talking about money. And if you're not a couple, if you're just by yourself, talking about money with a trusted person, an accountability partner, whether that's a coach, whether that's a trusted friend, a family member, somebody. This way you don't have to keep it all on yourself and you get some good guidance from somebody along the way. And I still recommend, even if you're working with it as a couple, still having a third party outside person like a coach or somebody like myself in that field to help guide you and hold you accountable. This way you can get some good outside perspective on the way things are. But some of the ground rules in place, don't set up the conversation when there's a heightened emotion. So when you're hungry, you're already having a bad day. There's, stuff like that going on. You don't want to sit down and be like, okay, let's have our money conversation now, because it's not going to go well. Yeah. So if you missed any of these, they're all on the YouTube channel under the Prosperity Lounge. And you can go check them out. Let me know what resonated with you. We're always looking for people to send in some questions, either through here. You can send it in under the comments section. You can email us, Joey at jrfinancialcoaching.com. You can follow us on Instagram at jrfinancialcoach, or you can follow the show at the Prosperity Lounge on Instagram. And you could also join, and I would really recommend you join if you could, join our free online community, the Prosperity Lounge. It's at theprosperitylounge.com, prosperitylounge.com. And yeah, get in there, and it's a free community. And yeah, we're having a great time in there. There's some great great tools and resources. There's our free 8-step guide to stop living paycheck to paycheck. If you sign up for the Prosperity Lounge mailing list and get into the community and use the keyword radio, that'll be emailed to you directly. Our 8-step guide to stop living paycheck to paycheck. We also have our student loan survival guides in there, and our how to communicate with your partner about money guide is in there as well. So every time we kind of bring something up, talk about it on the show, I drop it in the lounge, so it's there for you guys. Yeah. So, well, somebody is calling me, and it's not show related. So there you go. Anyway, so that's that. And then in the Prosperity Lounge as well, you'll find our budget planner, our brand new prosperity planner. Try it free for 30 days. Links to your bank accounts. It pulls everything out. You can track expenses, track your income, track where everything's going, and it kind of will build out a plan for you and a goal plan. And then you can ask it questions. It's got a built-in interface with, I don't know how they do it, but an AI me answering your questions for you. And of course, there's always an option to build up into a session with me if you need to go over that. Okay. So let's see where we're at. This Saturday's show is going to be our last show on Saturday. I know, boo-hoo. We are moving to Friday evening, and we are expanding the show to a full 1 hour. So we will be 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern time on Friday evenings, starting June 6th. Still going to live stream it on YouTube, so come on in. It's probably a better time for most of you. I know a lot of people on the West Coast were reaching out to me saying, "Hey, I'd love to get in on the chat there, but it's 9:30 in the morning, 6:30 here. We're not going to be able to do it." But now it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon for you guys, so hopefully you guys can get in the chat out there in California and the West Coast. And we're going to be setting up a lot more, some guests coming into the room, into the studio as well, to kind of talk, and different business owners from around the area, from around the country, and really kind of expand out what we're trying to offer to our listeners, and hopefully give you some value in that regard. Okay, so this Saturday, though, we're going to dive into the topic that kind of builds on what we were doing a little bit. Now we talked about first, the why you're doing it. What's your purpose? Then we went into budgeting. Okay, now I got to figure out where everything is and where everything's going. Then it's like, man, I need some extra cash to get things going. Okay, we talked about side hustles. Then we went into, okay, well, having a conversation about our situation and what we can do. Okay, so we did all that. Now we start putting things in motion. What's the first thing that we should be doing in order to reach our goals? Let's say we had the conversation. We know we need extra money. We know where everything's going. We're going to shore everything up. What's going to happen? What are we doing? Well, we're going to talk about breaking the paycheck to paycheck cycle. And we're going to walk you through why people get stuck in survival mode, the hidden cost of living paycheck to paycheck, and the mindset and strategy shifts that finally set you free. I'm going to break down debt payoff methods. Probably the two most popular ones are the debt snowball and the debt avalanche. And I'll help you figure out which one best fits your situation. We'll also talk about when it's okay to pause retirement contributions and how to get real traction without any real guilt or shame in your life. So this episode is going to be packed with actionable insights and personal encouragement. And so I don't want you to miss it. So set it up for 9:30 a.m. Eastern time right here. Subscribe, click the notification bell so you get notified. If you're listening to this on maybe a later episode of the podcast, feel free to, join us or listen back. Totally. All right. Yeah. So next segment was talking about the big announcement. I kind of just said it. Starting June 6th, I'm going to be live every Friday evening from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern. In the East Tennessee area right now, we're on Praise 96.3 FM, but we're going to be streaming on Facebook. I'm definitely on YouTube for sure. Still working out whether we're going to be streaming on Facebook and Instagram as well. But the best bet is to just join our YouTube channel, and we will start trying to stream inside the community as well. Haven't figured that out yet, so that would be another place for you to go. But in the meantime, just get into the YouTube channel. If you haven't, go ahead and subscribe and make sure you don't miss when we go live. So this is probably important for us as well, being on a Friday evening. One, access to more guests, so bringing better value to you, the listener, which is my goal from the get-go. It also gives us time to connect heading into the weekend. So whether you're relaxing, hustling, or just ready for a reset, like you can hear it end the week, ready to go, made it to the end of the week. And yeah, it'll be a fun time. Looking forward to that. So we're at the point now where I'm just going to go ahead and open up the questions. If anybody's here, see what's on anybody's mind. Feel free in the comments to post something. Let me know you're here. Let me know you're watching. And if not, I do have some questions that came in throughout the weeks that I didn't get a chance to cover on the live show, but I have a couple extra questions here that kind of go for the last few episodes, so we can kind of go over and see what's up and ask them. So, all right. So anything about budgeting, side hustles, mindset, anything else? Want to talk baseball? We'll talk baseball. Whatever. Let me know what's up. Okay. Let's see. Melissa wrote in from Knoxville right here. She had emailed a while back saying, how do I stay motivated when my budget feels like it's going nowhere fast? And I'm getting this question quite a bit about the budget. The budget's that first situation where people actually see what's going on. And yeah, it's not pretty for most people. They've been doing it in their head. They think they're all right. And then they put it on paper and it's like reality sets in. It's not pretty sometimes. But what I would say to you, Melissa, is it's a common feeling. I mean, I'll admit there's times where I don't feel motivated to budget myself, and you're not alone. So don't worry about that. The key really is to start celebrating those small wins. We've talked about this before. We talked about celebrating small wins. We talked about paying off credit cards. We talked about saying no to purchases, impulse purchases and stuff. Especially when you're trying to save. Talk about making it a game and stuff. Trying to save $100. Maybe you did save your first $100. Then let's celebrate that if you've never done that before. Find things to celebrate and celebrate along the way. Now, the celebration doesn't mean, hey, I saved $100. I'm going to celebrate by going to the store and spending $100. No, it just means find something you like to do and try to celebrate it with that, but maybe, within reason. Maybe take a few bucks to that and celebrate it. But or save 120, spend 20, and you save the 100. Yay! I celebrate it. Those don't count though. Motivation isn't something you wait for, right? It's basically something you have to build by tracking progress and making the invisible visible. It's just like going to the gym. You want to drop a few pounds. Sometimes the scale moves, but sometimes your clothes fit better. And you got to celebrate both. You may look at the number and go, I'm not dropping weight. This must not be working. But then your clothes are starting to fall off you a little bit, and you're like, I guess it's working. I mean, I don't see it, but I see it. It's the same thing with budgeting. It's the same thing with paying off debt, really. Sometimes you won't see the traction. Sometimes you will. Sometimes with the budget, it might be like, I paid cash this week for something that I used to pay with a credit card for. It doesn't look like much on the surface, but it is moving you in the right direction. Okay. Tony from Memphis emailed and said, my wife and I tried budgeting together, but we keep clashing. Any tips for getting on the same page? Well, this resonated a lot from last week's episode where we talked about communication, Tony, and thank you for writing in. You weren't the first to let me know that. We talked about establishing ground rules for money conversations. So definitely, you're not springing them on them during stress. I talked about this a few minutes ago, right? So you set a time, place, calm space, focus on shared goals. That's what you want to really focus on. Use tools like the Prosperity Planner. That's free for 30 days in the platform. Talk about your values. Talk about things you used to talk about before numbers got in the way. And then talk about numbers. So get yourself in a good space. Remember why you married each other. Just go back to that a little bit. Get yourself in a good headspace, and then you could talk numbers in a much calmer, less stressful environment. And that's the first thing. Now, as far as clashing, you might be clashing based on your goals. Your wife might say, I want to get out of debt tomorrow. And you may say, I want to get out of debt 6 months from now. Well, try to find that's the underlying goals. You both want to get out of debt. It's just the timing and how you want to do it. That might be an easy fix as far as stopping clashing. Maybe there's a compromise there. If one of them is like, if one of you is saying, I don't care about that. I just want to save and spend and vacation. Then the other one is saying we need to save and not go anywhere. Well, there's a little give and take in there as well too. Like why is one saying one thing and once the other person saying the other? What's the goal, the end goal for each? And just have that conversation and then see if there's a way to compromise and move it into the budget. Talk about it. Because remember too, it's not you or her, or you versus her, or her versus you. It's both of you versus the problem. So you have to tackle it together. I think I use the analogy of rowing in the same direction. If you row in opposite directions, you're going to row in a circle and never go anywhere. But if you row in the same direction, you're going to glide downstream. It's the best analogy I can come up with. All right. Thanks for writing in, Tony. Ashley from Chattanooga contacted us on Instagram, which you can do at JR Financial Coach or at the Prosperity Lounge on Instagram. Follow us there and send us a DM, comment on some of our posts, ask a question, and we'll get it on the air. Ashley wrote, I've got 2 side hustles and I'm still not getting ahead. What should I cut or change? Yeah, that's powerful insight right there, Ashley. That's you doing it and it's not changing and you're wondering what's going wrong. Well, I would say, what's the good quote here? Hustle without strategy leads to burnout. And burnout doesn't lead to results. So go back to your why and make sure your side hustles align with your long-term goals. Look at profitability. Look at time investment. Look at your energy return. Sometimes cutting one opens space for the right one to grow. So maybe you're doing two right now that just aren't, they're quick, maybe they're time consuming, but not paying enough. And I understand the fear of cutting one because that could cut some significant extra income that you need, but it might open the time for you to do a more time efficient one for a higher fee. So let's say, for example, you are delivering groceries with Uber, and you're sitting around and you're waiting for the shifts to go on. And you're getting one here and you're getting one there, and you're making $15 an hour, but you're only doing like 2 routes, not a lot. And you might go, well, if I cut that, I free up an hour or two of my day because that's what I dedicated to do that. And maybe I'm really good at X, or maybe I can be a tutor. And tutoring is going to pay me $25 an hour. And I can do that for 2 hours, but I can't do tutoring and Uber at the same time. But if I cut Uber, now I can free to do tutoring, and tutoring I can get paid more for less amount of time. So I can make $25 1 hour versus $15 1 hour. See where I'm going with this? So really have to sit down and decide if the ones you're doing are the right ones. There's a ton out there to do. And again, remember, these are goal jobs. These are things to lead towards the goal. So you can flip back and forth. Nothing's set, especially with the app stuff. You can make your own schedules on these. These are great. So you can just go ahead and turn on the app, turn off the app, whatever you need to do, and really just dial it in. You also asked about cutting or changing, and we talked about a little bit about what that, but you might want to go back to the budget as well and see what is, maybe take another look at it. Are there things in your budget right now that you may not need? One of the best tools, Ashley, is subscriptions. Look at your subscription services and see if you are overpaying for streaming stuff. I know a lot of people that they'll play the stream. It's funny, I call it the streaming game, essentially. They have a favorite show. Let's say, what's the show that just was on Netflix? Squid Game. Squid Game's on Netflix. It's going to premiere in January. It's going to be on. And it's over a month or two. Well, subscribe to Netflix for a month or two if that's your favorite show. Watch the show. When it's over and you're done watching it, cancel Netflix. When season 3 comes back later this year, re-up Netflix. Don't pay for it if you're not using it. A lot of times you can get deals on the streaming as well. Sometimes like 99 cents for the first 2 months, or 6 months for $10, whatever. Lock in those are great. And then when those are done, when it's getting ready to go back to full price, cancel. Either they'll offer you a deal to stay or just cancel if you're not watching it. And then when your show comes back on, there'll probably be a deal for you to re-up and get back in there. So that is one thing a lot of people don't realize is, those promotional elements of the show, they go away and you're stuck paying the full price. Okay. If you got any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. We're almost moving through here, almost done. Here, I got one more here that was written in this week. Devin and Instagram again messaged and said, do you recommend the snowball or avalanche method, or does it really depend on the person? That's a great segue, Devin. And I'm going to say it depends. And I'm going to talk a lot more about this on the upcoming show on Saturday. Episode 5. Yeah, so that's going to be episode 5. And then basically The snowball method works with momentum. Pay the smallest debts first, quick wins. Avalanche is mathematically optimal. Pay highest interest first. I'd say go with the one that keeps you engaged. If you're feeling more motivated by results you can feel, snowball method might be right for you. If you're focused on minimizing interest, Avalanche works. Both work, but you got to stick with it. Again, I go back to the gym analogy. You can be a bodybuilder, you can be a power lifter, you can do Pilates, you can do core, you can do fit, you can do HIIT, you can do CrossFit, you can do cardio only. All of those will get you fit. Which one's the best? Depends on you, depends on your motivation, your body type, your genetics, how much you like to eat, how often you can go to the gym, but more importantly, how much you're going to stick with it. They'll all work, but you got to stick with it. If you got any other questions, if you're watching this back and you got any other questions and you want to ask something about the upcoming episode, which is the on the debt payment methods, debt repayment methods, and things like that, how to stop living paycheck to paycheck, feel free to write it in the comments here. I'll definitely see them and get those to you, get those answered. If you like this format, coming on in the middle of the week, just kind of doing a, live from the lounge talk, kind of informal kind of break, let me know that as well. I'd like to do a little bit more of these throughout the weeks. At least once a week would be great. Sometimes we'll have a guest come in. Let's have some fun. And wow, 30 minutes already. So it's almost about the same time as the show. When did you know that? Well, I'm gonna go ahead and stop here. Probably hang out maybe a little bit longer, see if anybody wants to comment or chat. Pretty much covered everything we wanted to cover. So if you got any questions, again, pop it in the chat. If not, we will we'll head out. And so thanks everybody for just hanging out on a Wednesday night. This is a pretty good time to do it. If you got value from this, whether live or you're watching it back, just do me a favor, please just like the video, leave a comment, share with a friend. That'd be great. Helps me know that I'm reaching some people and helps beat the almighty algorithm here. So it'd be fun to get that in front of more people. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Don't forget, this Saturday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, we'll be live here on the channel doing our behind the scenes view of the radio show, as well as gonna attempt Instagram and Facebook again. Facebook's a lot easier for me to read comments on. Instagram is a lot harder because it's a different tab on the window and I'm not looking at it, so I don't know who was in there, who wasn't in there last week, and then it just disappears when I end the live. So probably just going to stick with Facebook and here, so you get some options to watch back. Got to figure out where on Facebook though. I've been doing it on my personal stream, my personal profile, so I might do it on the Prosperity Lounge page, which we don't use that much because we have the private community space as well. But your best bet is here on YouTube. 9:30 this Saturday, and then stay tuned after that. That'll be the last Saturday morning show. Starting in June, we're going to be 6 to 7 o'clock Eastern time, PM, on Friday evenings, which I'm looking forward to. That should be fun. We're going to, like I said, this Saturday, we're going to go on that deep dive about breaking the paycheck to paycheck cycle. If you sign up for the community space now and do promo code radio, you'll get that 8-step guide on how to start living paycheck to paycheck sent directly to your inbox. So you can kind of get a head start and then jump on that. If you're in the community already, it's in there, downloadable PDF in there for the start living paycheck to paycheck guide. All right. Well, we will just go ahead and jump off here. Until next time, everybody, stay faithful, stay fearless, and remember, freedom lives where faith and action meets. The lounge is always open, and so is your next breakthrough.